Now, when I'm testing a knife, I tried that paper test and I don't think it gave this knife credit. So I'm doing what I'm doing, and I've been out here for a while, waiting for a storm to come in. I don't know if you can see it. Let me get this zoomed in. But I'm making a feather stick, which is a bit of bushcraft. You make these up when you're bored, then you carry them around, and they start a lot easier when you're having to start fires, because the edges of it are very small. So it sort of almost has tinder built in. It's also my #1 knife sharpness test, because I tried the sort of scologram paper cut, and really that isn't. I realized that's not one of my things, so I probably should do what I know. Now, I'll probably goof this up. A feather stick, you need a good sharp knife. And as I'm testing this Bar Raz knife, let me get that one. See? Yeah. I'm actually walking around doing EDC with a Damascus knife. Something I never thought would happen. But first thing you want to do is take the bark off. You see this bark? Now, this is going to sound funny, but you don't want to waste the edge, especially when you're out and about. So you don't use the edge of your knife, you actually use the spine. What you do is you just grate the hard angle of the spine, and it just blasts the wood off. This means you're not wasting the edge. You're also not damaging the wood. And if you try to use the edge, and sometimes you have to, if you really want it all off, you gouge into the wood. But what I did, well, of course, while I was doing that, I knocked all my feathering off, which is fine because I need to practice for you and let you guys see how to do this. This is a great skill practice if you're going to learn to carve. You just, let me see if I can get the angle, just cut. And what you want these slices to be as paper thin as possible. So it takes an incredibly sharp knife to do it well. And the thinner you can get, the sharper the knife. So what you do is you go around this whole stick like this, and you make these little tiny grooves. They take a lot of attention. This is, like I said, great for learning how much a knife is, how hard it's going to bite into the wood, control, how solid the grip is. And this is probably one of the most familiar knife designs out there. I mean, the grip, the finger grooves are subtle, but this looks like something somebody would find in their kitchen in the design. Aside from the Damascus part of it. They actually polished the Damascus away in the grip. I mean, you can still, if you pay close attention, you can tell where the whorls are. But it's so smooth and solid. This is what I consider a natural knife. And part of why I picked this model was it's a no-nonsense. It's a very wide, if you look, there's no actual damage. The reason it looks brown a little bit is it's wood that got caught in the whorls of the Damascus. I don't know if they knew I'd be doing stuff as aggressive as, debarking with the, $50 knife. But actually, I'm calling this a $50 knife because I've seen it similar for $50. It actually was sold much less than that. But I don't want to affect their prices, because if they should make, what they deserve off of this wonderful product. But anyhow, you just make a bunch of these, and making feather sticks is a great way to teach a little guy how to work a knife. Always teach new knife users, or you're learning with a fixed blade. Don't get a lock back. Certainly don't get a folding without retention. get a fixed blade knife, keep it simple. You want a good heavy knife in that this is a very thick, look, the tang of this is very thick relatively. You'll see knives, I mean, most kitchen knives are about half this thickness that you buy on the market. And for a utility knife, you need more meat. It can be shorter than this. The neck knife I usually carry is almost a third this blade length, and it does 99% of the things I want. But I'm telling you, I'm becoming addicted to this little knife. So, as you can see, it's cutting very, very well. I mean, this looks simple, but it takes a lot of skill and a lot of practice to be able to feather wood like this, and to be able to do it, frankly, this fast means this is a very sharp, the balance is well. I'm not fighting it to get a complex task done. So this is part 2 of my rather in-depth Bar Raz knife review. Hope you like it. And I realize I didn't introduce myself, but I am Nick. This is still the Historical Fencing Guild. And as always, support your local swordmaster.